I wasn't wholly aware until recently that this 1982 film adaptation of Conan the Barbarian was not considered overly faithful to the Robert E. Howard source material. It is quite a beloved film, but then it is easy to imagine anyone with anything adjacent to a Generation X heavy metal lifestyle can find a lot to adore in this movie. And by heavy metal, I mean adolescent claptrap, concerts, patches, cassettes, and beer. Not, dangerous, illegal, criminal activities, the most dangerous thing in your week being a Slayer mosh pit. Dangerous, but not like some sketchy cocaine deal or whatever else people did in the 80s. Did people do anything else? I've wondered. I partly also believe that Conan is for those film nerds. Well, you know how Star Wars 1977 is one big homage to the medium's history, world cinema, and everything Lucas loved about fiction? Well, John Milius did the same thing with his sword and sorcery script titled Conan the Barbarian to cash in on those books sold by Frank Frazetta. Some buyers might have even read them. It is written that at one time Roy Thomas had a script available, but they rejected it in favour of this Oliver Stone movie about incorporating things he learnt about in a university/college context, like Wagnerian opera, Jungian archetypes, and world cinema. Hey, I'll say it now, I love this film as a total piece of Milius wank. Well, if Star Wars was George Lucas funneling everything he loved into a fantasy movie, this was John Milius. Imposingly brash, a film which believes that our life is a cruel, chaotic jungle, though the great, muscular, brave, sword-wielding hero will overcome the wicked conquerors and restore order to the rightful rulers of the land. He decapitates James Earl Jones and takes his place over the Nuremberg rally. Oh, so Milius homages Kurosawa, Kobayashi, Lang, and, Riefenstahl? Well, so did George Lucas, so what are we trying to say? Well, it is said that Adolf Hitler himself loved cinema and felt as though the medium embodied a higher ideal, a greater dream with which to strive toward, something baroque and in celebration of a union and a hierarchy of units. Yikes. The point is, it is easy to see why a fascist might love cinema and even wield it very passionately, creatively, to the extent of its grand capabilities. In its fanatical dedication to German or European nationalism, that fascist epoch is known for celebrating the Wagnerian operas, which themselves espoused ideas which the Nazis tried to reappropriate. These operas are associated with the term Gesamtkunstwerk. I'm not pronouncing that totally correctly, I'm sure, which is a total work of art. John Milius is heir to these artists of the 1930s German filmmaking, an ugly era which produced grandiose, wholly impressive works of technical precision and ambition, resurrecting this inside the Hollywood post-Star Wars fantasy world-building on-screen era of the 1980s. This movie probably funded Red Dawn. That's who John Milius is. In the case that one doesn't expect to care for this film on a casual basis, it is potentially worth still avoiding, although if one is fond of film history, world cinema, they may be surprised at the sheer finesse and ability of Conan's production. Duke Callahan's cinematography, stellar work, and for anyone who enjoys pizza, beer, or Iron Maiden, you're not going to go wrong here either. Actually, Iron Maiden fans have been known to read books. They'd probably or possibly be Howard nuts. That Schwarzenegger film is sacrilege. Our band writes songs about Dune and Heinlein. Heinlein, that was misleading. Those songs' lyrics have more in common with Encino Man than Stranger in a Strange Land. A Bible quote initially. I guess I'll demote Iron Maiden fans to Manowar fans. Does Manowar have fans? My friend asked this once, and we searched YouTube. Sure enough, millions of views on a relatively recent live performance. It was filmed professionally. Lots of people singing all the words, and some girls too. Maybe these are just excited girlfriends, but some appear to be by themselves relatively, and hey, cute too. I'm not sure what's going on. I find Manowar as exciting and engaging as the paint-drying playoffs, personally, sadly. Anyway, Conan the Barbarian by John Milius. I didn't realise any fans of the novels were not on board with this until Honky Donk told me so. As I stated in a comment in reply, I never came across any Robert Howard at a book fair. I might have ordered some Conan sooner, but BookDepository.com shut down, and they had free shipping worldwide. Probably why they had to shut down, actually. Anyway, gregarious, enchanting fun, if you let it. Just don't take it too seriously. I remember Barry Moore said he was a fan of this film. I'll just name drop commenters. Have you seen this, Streed? How about Carly? Is Aaron Urim still around? Curtis Smith, this has a giant snake in it. You might dig that. Kind of like a dinosaur, right? Is Sean McCulloch still around? A lot of you seem to leave after Lovecraft's Christmas. Guess they don't like Doctor Who. That's quite understandable, perhaps. Hell, how about Horror Gang? I need to shout out Horror Gang more. I said I would, but I guess I forgot. But they're fun. Well, shout out to any new people, like Examining Data. Enzu Piscatoris Severiorum, of course, always. Conan the Barbarian. If you like the idea of it, you'll love it. Unless you love the idea of it, then you'll read the novels, and apparently hate this film thoroughly. If you dislike the idea of this film, you'll hate it. So if you hate the idea of it, then you appreciate opera and all that jazz instead, right? You probably actually possibly find a lot to love in the film. I mean, ignoring all the adjacent Nazi implications and all of that. Just like with Wagner's music, Heisenberg or Planck's contributions to physics, Heidegger's writing, or Riefenstahl's cinema. It might seem contentious and too close to fascist thought for some, but then so too is censorship, of course. The most unfascist thing one could do is hold a nuanced, intricate, and complex, multifaceted, compartmentalized, and unreptilian view of the world. We observe our species as some benign alien entity might, not as absurdities of good and evil which must be celebrated or extinguished. Some of us don't feel this way, and if it gets channeled into Conan the Barbarian 1982 rather than Germany 1932, then so be it. Some Robert Howard fans may feel differently. Conan is no fascist, not like Milius. Well, Stone certainly was no fascist, but I'm willing to suspect that Howard's Conan was no bleeding heart liberal either. Maybe, I don't know. I can't order the novels from bookdepository.com because their ideals and liberalism may have actually bankrupted them. Guess John Milius would smugly smile about that. The Texas oil boom had many far-reaching consequences, the most unexpected of which was the eventual emergence of Conan as an eternal icon of popular culture as we know it today and shall know it forevermore. For as long as people know the name Arnold Schwarzenegger, they will know Conan. And Howard's fans cry like wolves in the night, hoping that one day the legacy of Robert E. Howard, the true scribe of Conan's adventures, will see its proper place in the canon of world literature and art. And until the establishment, the powers that be see fit to recognize our demands, our noble requests, we shall wait tirelessly, passionately, powerfully, for the day that those who pull the strings will at last begin acknowledging our discontent.